Welcome back to my channel where I share my experiences and adventures with you. Today I'd like to tackle a topic that is super close to my heart, taking a toddler with autism to Disneyland. When my daughter was first diagnosed, she was diagnosed at a young age, and like many parents, I started to worry about experiences and how Elle would be able to receive them, like being able to go to Disneyland. And luckily, with a lot of preparation and patience, we have been able to make so many memories as a family at the Disneyland parks. The key to a successful trip starts with thorough planning. We always plan ahead by breaking out videos and books and movies about Disneyland parks, and that helps prep Elle for the change in not only scenery but schedule as well. Next, we pack Elle's favorite items. This can be a weighted blanket, a stuffed animal, her iPad, and some other sensory toys like fidget spinners and those little bubble things that you pop that I still don't know what they're called. Having these items on hand provide the child comfort when they are feeling dysregulated and out of place. Once we're at the park, we take things nice and slow. Starting at the town hall. Who's going to the town hall unless you have something missing? Well, you are. Don't know why I did that. You are. And the reason that you are is because you want to take advantage of Disney's DAS Pass. Now, I have said a lot of things, but this is probably going to be the most important. The reason for that is the DAS Pass allows you to not skip the line, but you are allowed to wait somewhere else in line. You don't have to be in the actual ride queue in order to get on the ride. So for instance, if we wanted to ride a small ride, it is a 20-minute, more like 50-minute wait. We would be able to wait outside, grab a snack, grab a toy, hang out, be able to run around, and then when those 20, 40 minutes, however long the initial wait is over, you get to go up, redeem your DAS pass on your app, and go from there. The reason that this is so incredibly helpful is because sometimes for children with autism, it could be incredibly difficult to wait. So you don't have to do it in line, and that can help you avoid meltdowns. It could help you avoid fatigue. It could help you avoid random hunger, and it just makes the trip a lot easier. Along with the DAS Pass, Disney also offers some other things to help you along your way. Now, I don't know all of these things, unfortunately, so I would recommend calling the Disney customer service line and speaking to a cast member today. But one thing that I do know of is they will give you a purple tag for your child's stroller. And this allows your child's stroller to go places that it normally wouldn't be able to go. So you can't take it on rides, but you are free to take it around the park. And a lot of the times where cast members would normally ask you to move your stroller, they will actually allow you to keep your stroller with you as it's seen as a medically needed device. In our case, our stroller is medically needed. My daughter needs a safe space to feel as though she can cocoon in. And the stroller, while we're in the parks, is just that for her. I've never tried to get a wagon in, so I don't know anything about that. But I do know that they will make exceptions if you have a medical necessity or if you have a medical need for it, I mean. So, yeah, So going to town hall is the most important stop that you probably will make the whole trip, other than visiting Mickey and Minnie. Make sure to have that flexible schedule. I know a lot of the time, especially if you've been to the park multiple times throughout your life, you're going to have a set system. You're going to want to ride the rides that you want to ride, and there really isn't a lot of room for error. In this case, as it is with any child, you need to be very flexible. Sometimes the children are going to need breaks, whether those need to happen in or outside of the park, that's up to you. Sometimes kids are going to want to ride a ride more than just once, and it might be their preferred activity. And I would suggest, you're paying a lot of money, get a lot of use out of like all those rides as much as you possibly can. And a lot of the time, I've been walking through the park and a fountain will just really fascinate my child. And so I'll just sit there with her as she kind of takes in the sights. And that in and of itself can be a really magical thing. There's also character meet and greets. And for these, though they can be magical, sometimes they can feel a little overwhelming for our child. So we just make sure to go at their pace. Really, the whole purpose of this trip is to see the parks through your child's eyes. And sometimes, you gotta let the children dictate that as well. When it comes to attractions, there are attractions for everyone and anyone. A lot of the time, my child specifically likes Winnie the Pooh's Adventure. She also likes It's a Small World. She also really appreciates kind of like the faster rides like Mickey's Toontown. However, she does not like the roller coaster in Toontown. She was very against that when we attempted it. So I think it's really just being able to figure out, obviously, do the age-appropriate rides. Don't try to get your 4-year-old onto what was formerly known as Splash Mountain and now is Tiana's Bayou Adventure. But I would say that luckily for you, there is enough rides in Disneyland and California Great Adventure to make your trip memorable. So it's also important to know where the quiet spots are, and if you're not too familiar with Disney, that can be a little overwhelming. Normally there is an area on Main Street where like right outside of their medical office, and that is normally super quiet. It's also sometimes fun to stay near the park areas that they have within the Disneyland theme parks. So in Toontown they have like a splash pad, and sometimes that's really quiet. In California Adventure they have the Redwood Trail, and normally, even though it's bustling with children, there are quiet spots along this trail, and it's super fun and really exciting for any kid to walk through, so I'm sure they would enjoy that. And then of course you could always go to downtown Disney and just sit at a restaurant and wait it out until your child is ready to go back into the fray. I would be a fool to do a video on taking a toddler with autism to Disneyland without talking about the meltdowns that sometimes will happen. I have had a few meltdowns. I have experienced a few meltdowns while being in the parks, and sometimes I wish I could just like go back and shake myself and tell myself like, stop caring what other people are saying or doing and just focus on keeping your kid happy and safe and as healthy as possible. So instead of going back in time, because unfortunately my time machine broke, I will give that advice to probably the one viewer who will see this, which is that if you experience a meltdown, please remember, number one, that you are not special. Your child is, unique in their own way, but unfortunately not too unique, because every child has thrown a tantrum in the Disneyland parks. It is not just you. It is not just your family. It is not your parenting. It is not a lack of something or an excess of something. It is the fact that children get very overwhelmed and they have a lot of wants and needs. And especially if your child is like mine and nonverbal, it can be kind of hard to express those and to feel heard and understood for the child. In my experience, people stared, people were looking, and I just had to remind myself that right now it's not on me to make a good impression. It's on me to make sure that, again, my child is not participating in any self-injurious behaviors, and if they are, that I am keeping them in a safe and calm bubble. Of course, the number one thing is that you make lasting memories for you and your family. For some families, this is a once-in-a-lifetime trip. For other families, this is the first dive into many trips, and for some, it's another Saturday. But I believe that this is one of the most fun experiences you can have as a family with your young child, and I hope that these tips and tricks help you feel prepared to experience that. And I hope you have a lot of fun if you do get to go, because it is one of my favorite things to do with my children. Yeah, I hope I didn't forget anything. Please let me know down in the comments if you think that I did. Okay, well, have a great day. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.